I am talking today to Anand Teltumbde, who you know is a civil rights activist, a public intellectual, a corporate professional, an educator, and also one of the 16 people who had been arrested in the Bhimakoregaon Elgar Parishad case. Now, the book that I'm going to be talking to him about The Cell and the Soul, a prison memoir. Have you written a book today?
Not today.
Not today. So I don't have to catch up because
Yeah.
currently I'm saying अरे ये चार नया book से दो हो गया है अभी दोनों
Yeah.
दूसरा और दो बाकी है.
Yeah.
So what is writing offering you today, Professor Teltumbde? There is something that it is offering you which your current life constraints are challenging you.
There are very few degrees of freedom left to us, after getting bail and I came out of Taloja prison. So the bail conditions disallow me traveling beyond Maharashtra and Goa border, that being the High Court jurisdiction. So, it has been so, it's a relief of kind, but still I'm not used to that kind of life. I have not been at a place for 15 days together. So after I left my college, probably I have not been to living like this. So what do? I had a big question mark. So one thing I did was resuming my columns. I wrote a comment on contemporary issues, whatever they unfolded. So that way,
I think what is left now is for me to come every week and we should do a podcast because things are changing so fast in this country. Laws are
yeah.
changing. There are new news developments so
Yeah,
often and so
I
frequently.
too think so
We should do a
because
podcast next.
I too think so because I thought that I would comment on every insignificant happening uh, in the country, particularly the public policy
Yeah. Yeah.
domain.
Yes.
But it is changing so fast now. For instance, in this recent Lok Sabha, they have presented a series of bills, So I was vigorously writing, commenting on each. But it became a difficult thing. Now, at least I took a pause consciously because whatever bills were presented in the Lok Sabha, I have written on. So there are still quite a few which are not been presented, and I thought I need not write. Otherwise, it becomes really difficult because so many things have been happening together. And this has been the character of this regime, They do not want to sort of give a pause to people to think over and carry on. So
it's a deluge, right? Pretty much like the content on social media. It's just coming at you.
Correct. By the time people pick up an issue, the other issue crops up and this becomes the past. So that way it has been going on.
Your focus has been in your work, in your writing especially, on matters of public policy, on social issues and events. In that context, I find The Cell and the Soul, a prison memoir, perhaps, and I think pretty obviously, the most personal book that you've written. This is about Anand Teltumbde, the person, and a very, very life-changing, a radical experience that you have lived through.
Yeah.
Was it difficult compared to the other writing that you do on a regular basis, which is with a very sharp intellectual lens, isn't it?
You are correct because I would not have written anything personal because I was quite shy and wary of talking about me. I never talked about the kind of stuff I landed up writing in this book. It so happened that when I went to prison, again the question came that how do I pass time? Okay, firstly, how do I survive that?
Yeah.
But once got adjusted there, then the question came that how do I pass time? So I started writing. After 3 or 4 days probably, I got stationery. I did not have any. So I bought stationery, pen, etc. and started jotting down things. So I was sure about that after coming out, if I survive this phase and I came out, now I would write about. And so I started sort of writing notes. And those notes, it went over 108 or something, like I can just count it. So from there, then when Bloomsbury offer came that they would publish, and also then I started sort of looking back and
Going
selected
through the
some
notes
20 odd
yeah,
notes
yeah.
and compiled into a book. So I deliberately kept them raw because as the notes were, excepting for some tinkering here and there, otherwise, because I thought that that rawness with which I wrote it would get lost if I edit it or sort of sanitize them.
I want to do a little bit of a flashback. I know that this is not particularly pleasant for you to relive these memories. But when you were finally taken into jail, it was just around the start of the COVID-19 phase, isn't it?
Yes.
This is despite the fact that many of the other people, the other 60, the other 15 people, many of them were actually arrested and incarcerated in 2018 itself, isn't it? When this case first broke.
Right.
You say quite categorically, you just said it, you did not think that you would survive this.
Yes.
What was it COVID? Was it your own health and how it has been? Or was it the fact that people like us, in quotes, don't end up in jail?
Yeah, many things together.
Deal with it.
What happened was that I was, before this main arrest, I was arrested briefly at the airport.
Yes.
And was kept in lockup for 13 hours. So that experience was horrific, and that was something like a prelude, on the basis of which I thought that if this is the extension in the prison, then probably I will certainly not survive, because I am fragile by health. So that also was there, because there were not a fortnight that I had not gone to doctor. So all these kinds of things together, I was mentally prepared to die there. So, and truly, so I never disclosed to my wife or daughter or anything, but mentally I went with the preparation that okay, I'll not come back. So be it. So that was the thing.
So, The Cell and the Soul is a searing, scathing, lived experience of what it is like to be in India's jails. Do you want to take us through one incident which conveys exactly what is wrong with our prison system and also with our criminal justice system? Because what I find most interesting in this book is not just your days in jail, and there were 31 months that you spent inside, but also how the judiciary and the judicial system is set up such that once you go in there, you can just be a statistic and you may not survive. And nobody outside feels any accountability for this life that has gone in.
You see, I've been in civil rights movement, so jail per se is not an unknown entity to us, because we've been taking up cases of many such innocent people and fighting cases ourselves, on their behalf.
Yeah.
Such things were there, but with the hard way, I find a difference between when it happens to you yourself are at the other end.
Yeah.
So that is a bit different. So that's what I experienced, certainly. The sad part of it is, like, if our judiciary had really worked as a something like custodian of the constitution, probably all these kinds of mess would not have happened. Jails are designed about, particularly Indian jails, the jails are in still operate in the mode that the colonial jails operated. As a matter of fact, the jail manual, is patterned on the same kind of thing. We actually have colonial rules in the jail and the same culture, same pattern. They started sort of labeling it something like Sudhar Gruha Vagara kind of thing, but there is not an iota of
any reformation, anything that
or
will
anything. So it just the sadism personified in jail that you face.
Yeah. And brutality.
Brutality, humiliation, brutality, sadism at every step, you know. So as you step into the prison, you are a under trial prisoners. So you are not convict,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
But in their thing, you are treated like the criminal. You know, we were, meaning jail did all the everything in their might to project us something like a most dangerous anti-nationals, the terrorists, etc., etc. But no, over the years now people, you know, inmates understand, and we started getting respect, due respect. Even the jail people also started respecting us later on. Personally speaking, you know, that humiliation is the most kind of killing kind of experience. Uh, and all these uniform people, you know, ordering you around, you know, that you can never experience that kind of thing.
And you, given your past life
Yes.
as a corporate professional, somebody
Yes.
at the zenith of, you know, the IIT, IIM, public sector undertakings, as an educator, for you to be treated as an enemy of the state.
Yeah. I wrote about that delusion also because it so happened in succession that I thought, all right, they might be terrifying me. They might be doing these tricks, you know, typical police tricks, but they may not touch me. Okay. It got unfolded. It actually goes back to 2015 when I was in IIT, and I got an anonymous call, and that person requested me not to cut the phone, and he said that he was a BSNL officer, and my admirer, and also and so forth, and he said that your phone is being tapped. So I got aback and said, what do I do? So, no, sir, just I wanted to tell you, I do not know what you could do. So, I also did not know. Even I thought over, what could you do if they have decided to tap the phone, they can tap anything. So, I did not change SIM card, I did not change anything. There subsequently, whenever I used to go to lectures, etc., on university, and there used to be very frequent. Every weekend, I used to have 3-4 lectures together. And I started getting information from the organizers that IB fellows visited them and saying that, why did you invite him? Why?
There are 2-3 words you have used that are sticking out for me. One is delusion, right? This delusion of who you are, of yourself, of your identity, of your
Yeah,
stature in society.
sure.
That was crushed.
Yes, because the entire episode exploded when this Bhimakoregaon happened. Right, so the first 5 people were arrested. Then they confiscated their electronic devices. Thereafter, what happened was the police took press conferences. And the first of the press conferences, they very proudly presented, you know, that we got such material and this and that and all. And almost the entire press conference were designed to take my name only. These police fellows actually distributed all the letters that they purportedly got from the devices to the press. And once a set was shared by the NDTV friend to me on a mail, which I preserved because that would come handy. So that was I was shocked. Meaning I was watching the TV because I had come from institute. I was in Goa at that time. My wife was watching, so I also assumed it happened in my front, and then I laughed because that was a Paris conference, Paris seminar. That I attended, and they they fabricated a letter around
based
that
on some of the topics and things that
Maoist writing that he funded my tour and everything that they arranged with American University of Paris and all. Such a laughable and ridiculous thing. So I laughed firstly. Then 28th of August, there were raids on 6 people houses. So that included mine also. That shocked me. Because until then it was soft matter, and the news also came that rest of the 5 people were arrested. All right. If they meant to arrest me, I was very well known, like I stay here because this was a transit flat. So it is not that police were so innocent
Of course.
that they would not know that I have come here, because they tracked when they actually arrested later from Cochin. I had 2 tickets, but they tracked it and caught me at the airport. So these things are not. So if they had they wanted to arrest me, they could have very well arrested from here, but they did not. So again, what do you constitute? They're probably okay. They might be terrorizing me,
but they won't touch you.
But still, they would not precipitate it to that extent. So with that kind of thing, I was running again normally. Then when charge sheet came for these 5 people, and I was named there as an accused. So we thought there was nothing, and in my innocent way, my friend is my lawyer, so he said that we try for quashing, and the quashing application was made in High Court, and we started taking rounds of the court. So that
which is why your final arrest happened in 2020.
The final arrest took place in 2020, but 18 to 20, there were so many things that were happening. So together, all these kinds of things are happening. So I thought if they had to arrest me, then I am now roaming around, everywhere. So why don't they arrest me? So probably they don't want to.
So you had a false sense of
false sense. It's delusion. I said, that if they arrest me, and now it stands as a history that it would be something like an arrest of and a terrorist charges, something like I am an alumni, IIT professor, a first kind of CEO of a company. All these kinds of things were happening for the first time, history. So that's the history of piece of history that would be created. So I was under delusion that probably they would not touch me. People were saying that, I am related to Ambedkar, that also, but I did not have that dimension so much
for
in
people
mind.
who don't know, your wife Rama is Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar's granddaughter.
That's right. So the other people, there are several kinds of people, to look at from their own angle. So they thought that, okay, they would not touch me. That my own credentials were good enough. And so I was under delusion of kind that they might scare me and try to calm me down, but not really arrest. But it ultimately happened. So when we had a round of, for a quashing application, it went to Supreme Court. I had again a kind of delusion that I thought that with this kind of evidence, if it lands up in court would just throw it away. But no, my lawyer friend asked me to be present, so I came from Goa and attended the first hearing. And the way they went about, I thought, what is this nonsense happening? The police give them a sealed envelope, and judges keep quiet. Like those days, the seal envelope, and every court they produce the seal envelope, and that's it. So what is your defense? You are defenseless, no? Because you do not know what they have put in seal envelope. So this way it was going. Ultimately, from High Court it got rejected, and Supreme Court it landed, and Supreme Court also rejected. Then I got alarm. The first alarm I got in my mind
was when they reject the Supreme Court.
It is for
rejected
something
the quashing.
worse. It is for something worse. And then I wrote a letter to public, and revealed everything So, and then Supreme Court, of course, gave me some leeway that, okay, well, he
4
can...
weeks.
4 weeks he gave, it gave, and said that let him apply for anticipatory bail. So I again started the round from the lowest court. It was in Pune that time. And the Pune, I was conducting normally. So I was invited to Cochin to be chief guest for one function on constitution. So there I delivered letter, then came back. and had two tickets, one to Goa and one to Bombay. So at the spur of the moment, I took a Bombay flight. In Bombay flight, it landed about 2:30 a.m. And there they arrested me.
That's the first arrest.
That is the first arrest, and took me to Pune and put me in lockup, and which fortunately the court took cognizance that it was contempt of court and it was totally illegal arrest, but nothing happened beyond that. Such a blatant thing, nothing happens beyond that.
Where does this experience leave you in your assessment of the prison system and the judicial system? I know the case is sub judice, but you're not a man who's holding back. You're not mincing your words in your assessment of where our systems are. In fact, you even say, should prisons be abolished?
They might do the legal rituals that in the court, but about this Bhimakoregaon case, everything is in public domain. You know, all these Arsenal report, and there's a forensic agency in US which actually did complete forensic, and they said that such a kind of at this level of fabrication
and planting it on
he has
electronic
not
devices.
come across. Now it is his business actually, the world-class agency, one of the topmost forensic agencies, and it said that such a level of fabrication he has not come across. So this government has indulged into that level of conspiracy against its own citizens. So it's in the public domain. It is in the public domain how they have done each thing, you know. So despite that, this is the 8th year that our 3 people are still inside the jail.
Yeah.
Okay.
And one person has passed away, Father Stan Swamy.
And one person has passed away. So this is the kind of thing, when at the moral level, where is this Indian democracy stands? So that's a big question. You know, prison system, as I said, follows the colonial rule. But as a matter of fact, as I'm now looking at how this republic was constructed when British went away, I think that everything is colonial, and they added to that whatever colonial operation was happening. These actually, the native fellows have added something like a content of Brahminism to that, and they have been conducting it in very vicious way.
When that news report came into the public light, about Father Stan Swamy being denied a sipper because he was a patient of Parkinson's. I was in Mumbai, and my late father he was a patient of Parkinson's, and I was his caregiver. And I know exactly what he was going through, and felt very grateful that I was there with him and for him. And I read this news, and I cannot tell you, I think suddenly something that was intellectual and about the news became something that was emotional for me. Here is a person who's suffering from Parkinson's. He needs a sipper to drink liquids.
Yeah.
Why do you need a court to give permission or not? Explain that to people, because I don't think people will understand it.
I was driving at that, because for a simple thing, you had to make an application to superintendent of the jail in a language you are begging. Okay, you have to internalize you are a big criminal and you are begging something. So it is not taken as a right. You know, there are certain prisoners' rights. You do not lose any constitutional right, but these idiots don't know anything. And you are taken as something like you could be begging only. You can't be demanding anything. So for this SIPEP issue also, Stan had to make an application
through his lawyer
to court. And the court typically takes something like a very bureaucratic way. When the application comes, next hearing comes. So they are not, meaning they are not non-challenged. They it's repeatedly said no, that you apply your mind, etc. And I said in a very ambiguous way that I have not seen an thing that court applies its own mind to anything. So they nonchalantly they said that there is no realization that fellow cannot hold a glass to drink water from. And he needs the sipper. So where is the question of something like asking a save from the prison? But they would ask. Not only that, they will ask to say from NI. What is your say? What do you want to say? So for every issue, there would be a say. The next time, he does not submit the thing. Next hearing comes after 7 8 days, he does not submit the thing. Then he just politely court only asks him a reminder, That's all. Man, there is no reaction. So like that, when it actually exploded in the press, public, then only they realized the seriousness and then the order. And then not only 1, 2, 3, 4 sleepers came, so Father Stan Swamy. So this is probably a representative episode because it clicked with public. Now it's a controversial thing. It's running in case courts and all kinds of things. They justified that he died a natural death. Mm. But Stan Swamy, I'm sure, and that we were with Stan Swamy and Arun Pereira. We two were very closely with him. And we are absolutely sure that when we were pleading to the hospital, jail hospital, to take him out, if he had been taken out, he would have survived definitely. Just because they waited for court order to come, which came after 5 days and then therefrom, and then it was too late. It proved too late because initially he appeared to be improving, etc., and suddenly then he collapses.
Is it cruelty? Is it in unintelligence? Is it idiocy? Is it a combination of both? How do you explain? Is it very petty people at the lowest levels of bureaucracy exercising untrammeled power at that level? What is, you must have some take on why people are,
I would say,
are humans cruel by nature?
I would say something like as a systemic fault that there is no accountability to government functionary in India. I find that is that at the root because they are not answerable excepting for their own hierarchy, and public do not count. We say that we the people of India, but actually in this country, public do not really count. So they are not the sovereigns. The sovereigns are the executive. As it today, it's in open now. So that way, and all the people, you just can't ask them why there is nothing like
Rights.
There is no question of rights at all. There are no rights.
There is no accountability, right? This is happening. Absolutely. And there is no accountability. And these are, and you are included in these people who are esteemed members of society, who the case has got national media attention. There are, civil rights lawyers, activists, family networks, professional associates who are keeping tabs. So what of the people who are not the BK16 who are in the prisons of India?
Yeah. No, the design of BK16 now can be seen in retrospect was deliberate. That because you see the control of the state institutions is an easier job. Which they can be, you install your man at the head of the institute and entire thing falls in line.
And private media was already captured.
But this is civil society is an amorphous thing. It doesn't have any shape and size. So how do you control civil society? So BK16 was designed for that. So you collect a people who have a certain profile and collectively they would represent entire civil society. So to demonstrate that we can do such thing to these people, and what of you? So be quiet. So it doesn't happen to the persons who were arrested as in the case, Actually, nobody really minds it, or nobody is scared of or arrested. No, none, man. And even if you go in the past also, all the political prisoners, they could not dent the resolve. But the civil society gets scared. That their objective is accomplished.
I was just going to ask you, has this objective of scaring civil society as a collective with the BK16 case, has it accomplished the objective that the Indian state and this current government set out to? Has it
I
had a
see,
chilling
I
effect
see,
on civil society?
yeah, I see that largely accomplished because civil society gets scared. Okay. So most of the people, like when we came out of, we lost our friend circle, we lost our
I was going to go to
contact.
that.
Many people are scared of talking to us. All these kinds of things happen, and that's on that basis I'm saying that largely that is accomplished. The civil society gets scared. Many people are
So it has. So
they
it
have
has.
internalized the discipline
Yeah.
not to speak
Question,
out,
not to
not to
speak out.
criticize or anything. But me, I will not take care to hoots. And none of the political prisoners so far arrested in the history, even world over, the prisons could not scare them.
That is a relief to hear.
Yes.
But tell me a little bit about the loss. While you have a lot of admiration, a lot of supporters, a lot of people still who believe in you and believe you, are there an equal number of people on the losses side when it comes to opportunity, friendships, networks, respect?
Yeah. I would say that probably the people who are indifferent or uh, like me or follow me are in minority. The vast majority is lost.
Do you
That remains.
do you regret that loss?
No, I don't. I don't want
But
such people who get scared. I don't want to be in my network or friend circle.
what is the kind of impact that what you have gone through had on your family, on your daughters, on your wife, on your extended family? And do you feel in some way responsible? Does that weigh on your mind, saying that your principles or your intellectual ideas that you stand up for and that have landed you in this particular moment in your life, the repercussions that has had on your family's peace of mind? And maybe even more material
Yeah, that is a dicey
impacts?
question. Actually, we suffer, but we were always worried that the family which stays outside suffers more. And it probably is a fact because something you get adjusted there after some time, and then that becomes a new normal for you in prison. So it's not a daily kind of thing, but for outside, uh, it's certainly so. Because at least we were politically minded people, so we could take it in stride. But my wife, for instance, or most of the people's wives and children, they are not that politically
Yeah.
educated.
Yeah.
So for them, it is a very, very shocking kind of experience. Uh, my wife, for instance, although she hails from political family, but not this kind of politics, and she was as a person, she was just kind of housewife, taking care of
Yeah.
my daughter
Yeah.
when totally devoted to children kind.
Running your home, which
Yeah,
is a lot of work. You have to acknowledge
running
that.
home,
Yeah.
and it so happened that
It is
my
work.
a younger daughter played tennis. So most of the
She was.
early life is actually gone just supporting her. So she was going around playing tournaments, etc. So totally engrossed, and it got totally new kind of thing. And she also, I did not know, she also had a COVID attack. I got COVID attack there inside jail, and she got here. And anything could happen, both ways. And we did not have, on those days, even the communication was not there, no proper communication. And over and above, the jail fellows would punish us, something happened, some episode, which is ridiculous. I wrote in the book. And summarily, he suspended our communication. Not mine,
Yeah.
not mine, but everybody's. Like it is a collective punishment. So for a month to stay without communication, you can imagine. So then it actually gives the scope for the bribing.
Yeah.
There is another network that runs
Yeah.
in the jail, which if you pay money, then the
Anything gets done.
messages can
Yeah.
go across.
And from what you say, from with some of the stories of some of the other inmates,
Yeah.
it is not just messages. A whole lot of things are made
Yes,
available
everything
to you.
can be bought in by money.
There is in this book very clearly a feeling that Ambedkarites and people who believe that they are Ambedkarites, which means very loosely that they subscribe to all the teachings of Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar, that they have let you down. And you're also quite critical of the way they have interpreted the teachings of Dr. Ambedkar, right? Do you want to tell us a little bit about what is this feeling? And because you also say that you don't see yourself as a Dalit first, you see yourself as an intellectual, as a professional, as a civil rights activist. You have many other identities. And when it is required, your Dalit identity is one you own. You don't suppress it.
Yes.
So, what are some of the intricacies and complexities in this that somebody who's not part of this movement and this politics needs to understand?
No, it's really very complex, and outside people probably don't understand. And inside also, I doubt where people understand it adequately.
Your critique of what they are doing in terms of their interpretation is quite clear, but your relationship with them, I'm not sure what is it that you expect.
No, I did not expect anything, but people sort of expected, they started sort of gossiping around that they imagine, no, if something like a person from Ambedkar's family getting arrested itself as something very unusual thing to happen. So the Dalit could have, if Dalits had supported it, Dalit meaning it would not happen like.
Yeah.
But they do not know how the state operates, and it is something like to detach me from Dalit masses. The state has invested a lot. That would come up in another book.
But you're not a mass leader, are you? Or am I missing something?
I'm not.
So then what do you mean by what the state has done to detach you from the Dalit masses?
No, that is for sure, that you have to exercise that Dalit. It's like you'll have to project it that you are not an Ambedkarite, you are a Maoist. So that itself is unpalatable. So you have to invest. It doesn't happen automatically. Nobody will accept me to that extent. Okay. So there is a need for investment. So that kind of investment they did. I have got lot many details which would form part of another book. So let us leave it there. But there were crisscross kinds of things and which you must have come across in the book, like why then Prakash Ambedkar has not supported him. He did indeed support it as an individual. Later on he is a political leader,
but
and he's
not
got his
as the
compulsions.
VBA, the leader of the
not as a VBA leader
yeah,
or something
yeah.
like that, but individual as my relative.
Family, yeah.
Relative, he stood by. Okay, and he gave press briefing and this
yeah.
and that, and physically came to NIA while I surrendered and court to court and all that. Subsequently, whatever happens, but why I never expected anything. But for this, in relation to what these Dalits were gossiping, these things have happened. These were falsehoods. Okay, and their understanding is, and I write that they are moved only by what something happening to Ambedkar as an icon, nothing else. Okay, so there you have to have a relationship, because if I am associated with Ambedkar icon, everything would have
relevance
happened.
Comes from that.
That's right. So many atrocities happen on Dalits, etc. Dalit masses are not moved. Nothing happens to them. They do not know anything. But actually, Ambedkar became a replacement of the god they earlier worshipped. That is the end of it. So that is very painful to stomach.
This view is also an intellectual's view.
Intellectuals view,
not everybody is an intellectual.
Intellectual view is certainly so. No, Ambedkar did not expect them like that. You know, the
Yeah,
Ambedkar
I
stood
think
for
that,
some
yeah,
ways.
yeah,
Ambedkar stood some ways,
yeah,
and it's not intellectualizing everywhere.
yeah.
For a common man also, he expected something, and he wrote down, you know, so little bit 10%, 5% compliance of that kind could have been there, but their behavior has been completely antithetical to Ambedkar, and equally vehemently they claim to be Ambedkarite. These are the opposite kind of or the dichotomous thing.
But therefore, also because you are saying this, because you're saying this so categorically, which is a criticism,
Yeah.
you will not be very popular, isn't it?
Absolutely not. And see, I am when you take me as a public intellectual, I and when I internalize that role, I don't have to be popular. Okay, in public intellectual should be ready to pay any cost for for the truth, and that is what I did, and I've been doing.
We'll keep talking, Anand Teltumbde. It's always a pleasure and
Yeah.
it's always illuminating. Very often, after a conversation with you, I have to go and read up and look up and try and understand things better. But perhaps that is why I do these conversations. So, thank you.
Thank you so much.